I'm just enjoying my vacations after I have just completed my assignment of finding the catchment area of a location using ArcGIS. But how did I find it? Let's see. Hello everyone, so today in this video we are going to see how we can find the catchment area for certain location using the software ArcGIS, or you can say ArcMap. So first of all, we'll open the file and we'll click new and we'll just click OK, and also you can specify your location wherever you want to save your files. Okay, so we're going to click the OK. So now our new blank page for creating the for finding the catchment area is open. So now we are going to enter our data or our location for which we are trying to find the catchment area, because we need to find a catchment area for certain location. So we need to enter the location in this GIS. So the location, you might already know that the location can be added in the QGIS in the form of coordinates. So I have my coordinates for which I'm trying to find the catchment area that are these. This is an already built dam and I'm trying to find the catchment area for this. You can also pick coordinates for any point for which you're trying to find the catchment area. You can just randomly put any location or any region, you can find the catchment area for that. So, or you can just copy my coordinates and find and just do it just like I'm doing it. Okay, so let's start the procedure. So I have these coordinates. So first of all, how are we going to enter these coordinates into into ArcGIS? In order to enter these coordinates into ArcGIS, we need a digital elevation model. In order to obtain the digital elevation model, you need to go to the website earthexplorer.usgs.gov. I will add the link in the description. So you can find that we have an option of add coordinate here. In the search criteria, you can find the add coordinate. Just add your coordinates here, and you can just change the north, south and east, west accordingly and just add them. I have already added my coordinates here, you can see, and you can just save it. Then you don't need to do anything else. You just need to click the results and you will obtain this. They might ask you for sign up or maybe login, but I have already logged in here, so that's why they're not asking me. So you can just log in, it's free of cost. Okay, so now we can, after we have obtained our location, we can also see that how our location looks. This is the one that's here is actually our location, and the region in the pink is, or maybe the red or pink, whatever, is the area surrounded by our location. So this is some extra area or extra region that we are taking with ourselves in the digital elevation model. We might need that because the water channels might be coming from long distances. Okay, so we need the region around our coordinate. So now we will download it. This is the option for download. We'll download it. You can just click the download. I have already downloaded it, and you can just open the folder just like this is the folder that I have downloaded. So these are all those files that I have got from the website. So you can find this file that is known as DEM in the end. So you can just take that file and you can just drag that in the ArcGIS like this. So this is the digital elevation model, and somewhere here is our point, but we don't know where. We can just locate it later. Now we need to open the catalog box here, and in the catalog box you need to create a folder connection. You need to connect your folder where you have saved the digital elevation model, and you need to enter it here. So we can just do it by clicking this, and you can select any folder here. You can click the folder connections here, and you can just click this, and your folder connection will ask you for the place wherever you have saved it. So I have saved it here. Let me open that, and you can just show them that location wherever you have saved your digital elevation model recently. So it's here. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is where I have saved it. Okay, so you can see that this is the YouTube lecture. I have named it as YouTube lecture, so I have saved it here. And if you click this plus, so you will see that these are the two files, or the two files that I have actually got through the Earth Explorer. You can see them here. These are two, and these are not shown there. Okay, now we need to start the procedure now. Now first of all, what we need is that we need a point. We need a certain point, and that point will be our coordinate, these coordinate, because as we know that in this USGS, in the Earth Explorer USGS, in digital elevation model, this was our location and the surrounding region was not. So we need to locate this point here. So we can locate it, like how we can locate it, we need to go to the catalog, we need to go to the same folder, that is the YouTube lecture or whatever I have named it. We can just name it here. Okay, so let me name it. So we can just rename it into project catchment. Okay, so now we know this is now I can right click on it and we can create a new folder in it. So these will be all the tools that I'm going to use. Now clicking on the new folder, right click on the new folder and again new, and in the new you can go towards the shape file. Just click on the shape file. The shape file will ask you for a name, so you can just add input. So input means that this is the point of our coordinate for which we are trying to find the catchment, and this is going to be a point. So the point is okay, and then you need to enter the coordinates. So you can just click on edit and you can just add your coordinates. Now how are you going to add the coordinates? This is the main point. You need to go to the geographic coordinate system. So once you go to a geographic coordinate system, here you can select the world, and in the world you can go to WGS 1984. You can just make it your favorite. I have already made it my favorite, so it will be always on the top. So just right click on it, I guess, and you can just add it to favorite. Okay, so I have already made it mine, so you can just OK it, and here we go. It is now in the form of W. So this is the unit for our coordinates. Okay, now we can just OK it, and we have got our shape file. Now we need to enter that point here, somewhere here. How we are going to enter it? We are going to click on this editor at the top, and in the editor we need to click start editing. So this will load our editing box. It's still loading. These might take a little time. Now you can go towards the catalog again, and you can click the input, and in the input you can just or maybe you can just go to this point. This is known as create features. So once you click the start editing, then you have this option which is known as create features. So you need to click on create features, and now you have got your input. So you can just click the input, and now you can come towards your digital elevation model. So you see that here we have a point that we need to locate somewhere, but we don't know where we need to place this point, because our point is somewhere here, but we don't know, but we know the coordinates of that point, so we can just enter the coordinates. But how? Having that point here in digital elevation model, we can just right click here, and after right click you can just see the absolute x, y. Just click them and add your coordinates. If you click this arrow, you will get, if you click this arrow, so you can just let me just make it okay. So if you click this arrow here, so you can see you have different options for entering your coordinates. So you can see that our data was in the form of degrees, minutes and seconds. So you can just click this, as you can see here, degrees, minutes and seconds. So we will just click this arrow here, and we will enter in the form of the degrees, minutes and seconds. So my coordinates are 712404 east, so I will add 7124, and then we have 04 east, and then we have 34, 18 and 18. Let us see again. 34, 18, 18 north, and it's already north. So these are the coordinates that we are having. So now we can enter it. We can just enter, and here is our point wherever our location is. So you can just see it might be quite matching with this one. Okay, so now as we have located our point, now we can just come to the editor. We can just click on save edits, and we can click stop editing. So here is our point. Okay, so now after we have got our point here, so the next step is that we need to we need to reduce the area around our point. And why we need to do that? Because if the area is too much, so the software is going to take a little more time from us. So we can just reduce the area, and we can just lessen the time and the effort that the software is going to take doing that. So if you don't want to do that, you can just not do that, but I'm just assuming that my area is going to be not that much, so I'm just going to reduce that. So how you can reduce that, I'm going to show you. But if you don't want to do that, you can just skip this step, and you can just do it for the whole digital elevation model. So how are we going to reduce that area? You can just go to the catalog. You can again click on the new folder, and you can just right click on that, adding new, again going to the shapefile, and this time I'm going to name it rectangle, and I'm going to, instead of point, we're going to give that polygon, and this time we're not going to click the edit, we're just going to OK it. So done. So we have got our rectangle here. Now again we're going to click the start editing, and we're going to click on create features, and this time we're going to click on rectangle, and here you can see the construction tools. You can just select rectangle. So now I can just assume that, and I hope that my catchment is going to be somewhere here in this region. So let's see if that works. If that doesn't work, or if the region is out of this rectangle, and in the end you will just see that if the region is out of this rectangle, you can just come back to this step, and you can just increase the size of the rectangle or whatever. You can just do that. So I'm just showing you that you can also do it like this. Okay, so I have just created my rectangle. Now I need to extract this rectangle out of this digital elevation model. I need to remove the background data. So how are we going to do that? We'll go to the search, and in the search we will enter clip, and we will search it. So once you search it, you can see that we have these tools. You can just click the third one, that is clip data management. So you just click on the clip data management, and it will ask you for the input and the output raster. So the input raster is of course the whole digital elevation model that we have. It is the total input. So we're going to add that in here like this, and now we need to enter the output external. So output external is going to be this rectangle, of course. So this is going to be our output. So we can just add the rectangle as our output, and now we can just click OK. So it is just performing the clip, and once it's done, so we will be having a notification here, maybe or maybe not. So as you can see at the left side, we have got our clipped elevation model. So now we can just click on this tick, and once we uncheck this, so you can see we have only the rectangular portion with us. And if I uncheck this rectangle, so you can see I have only this digital elevation model having my point in some region around that point. Okay, so now we can just remove this also, but I'm not just removing it. So now we can just continue our steps in this region. Okay, so now we need to go to the catalog again, and no, we don't need to go to the catalog again, but we need to go to the arc toolbox here. Okay, and here you need to open the spatial analysis tools. So you just open that, and the spatial analysis tools, you can just go to hydrology, And in the hydrology, you have these tools that we're going to use for finding the catchment area. So the first tool is the fill tool. So click on the fill tool, double click, and enter your input surface raster. So the input surface raster is the clipped one, okay, not the initial one, the clipped one, and just okay. So it is going to perform the fill, and the time that it takes depends upon the data that we have given. So that's why I cropped it, so that it can take less time, and I hope that my region is not going to be out of this rectangle. Okay, we are going to see it in the end. So the clip is the fill is now performed. Now the second one is the flow direction. So we need to click on the flow direction. Again, we need to enter the fill one. The updated one is going to be added. Okay, so the fill is the updated one, so we need to add the fill and okay. And now it's performing the flow direction, and it will give us the flow directions as it is completed. So it's done. So this is our flow direct. These are our flow directions. You can see these different colors, and these are all the data of our flow direction. Okay. Now the next step is we need to click flow accumulation. So let's click this. We need to add the flow direction raster. So that is this one, flow direction, and we can then again okay it. So here it's going to perform the flow accumulation, and remember that this step needs some time, so you need to wait for it. Okay, so I just paused the recording, and I'm just back after the flow accumulation has been performed. So now the next step is that we can just zoom in to it, and we can just see, if we see that my point and my point is here, and this is this, if you see this white, a little light colored line, this is the raster, this is the line from where the drainage, from where the flow accumulation is happening. So I need to drag my point, and I need to put it somewhere here. If my point was already there, it will be okay, but it's not okay. So I need to go to the editor, I need to start editing, and I need to click this one, this option, that black one, and I can just click on my point like this, and then I can just drag it and bring it somewhere here on this line. So do you see? So now it's on that line. Now I can enter it, I can just save edits, and I can just stop editing. So my point is here now. Now we can unzoom it, we can unzoom it back. So now as we have located our point on that line, so the next step is that we again need to go to the tools, and there is another tool that we need to use, that is snap pour point. So we'll just click on this snap pour point, and we'll double click it, and after double clicking it, in this dialog box we are being asked for input raster or feature pour point data. So the input raster, and the second one is that it is input accumulation data. So you know that input raster or feature pour point data is of course our input. So we can just click on this input, and that input is the initial point that we made. Okay, so we'll just click it, and the second one is the input accumulation raster. So for input accumulation raster, we are having this flow accumulation. So we can just click this, and we can just okay it. So now it will take some time, and it will be performed, and we will be shown snap pour point here. I'll try to cover another video on description or of the detail of these tools, that why are we using these different tools like fill, flow accumulation, flow direction. I hope you guys might know it, but if you don't, so I will try to make another video on the detail of these tools, and especially the units. So let's see. So our snap pour point have been performed. So we have got our snap pour point. Now the next step, almost a few of the last step, is that now we need to go to the watershed, which is the catchment actually. So we need to click on the watershed or the catchment. And now we can click on the snap pour point here. The input is the input is changed from the input to the snap pour point, and the second one is the input raster or the feature pour point data. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the flow direction. So input flow direction is going to be the flow direction here, and the input raster or feature pour point data is going to be the snap pour point data. I'm sorry for that. Okay, so now we can just click it OK, and now this is being performed, so we will get our watershed right after this step. So let's wait for it, and here we go. So here is our watershed in this blue color, or you can say the catchment. We'll change the color for this, okay, like this. Okay, now let's go to the next step quickly. We need to change this from raster to polygon, because this data is in the form of raster, and you might know what a raster is, but if you don't know, we'll cover it in the next video because it'll take too much time. So we can just go to the raster, input raster, and in input raster we'll give the watershed, because raster is actually the data in the form of squares, etc. So we can just click it and we'll just change it into polygon instead of raster, because this data is in the form of raster. So now it's changed into polygon. Now we can just uncheck these because we don't need them, and we have got our area in the form of a polygon instead of a raster data that this software was using. Now we need to quickly find the area. So first of all, we need to have our units. At the beginning we used the units that were in geographic coordinates. Now they are going to be in projected coordinate system. So let's go to the layers. We'll right click on the layers, go to the properties, and in the properties we will, this time instead of going to a geographic coordinate system, we are going to projected coordinate system, because actually now our data is changed to projected coordinate system. So and why it is, I will try to cover the video on this, but let's just go to projected coordinate system. And in the projected coordinate system, you will have to go to the UTM. I already opened it, so that's why. Go to UTM. In UTM, you need to go to WGS 1984, and in this you need to find your own UTM zone for your country and for your location. You can just search that in Google or whatever. I found it, and my country's WGS UTM zone is somewhere here in 43. So I'm just clicking it. Okay, this is for Pakistan, so I am clicking it and apply and OK. So this is done. Now we need to find the area. So how we can find it? You need to come to raster watershed, right click on it. You can go to the open attribute table, and open attribute table you need to add. Oh my god, this is taking time. Okay, you need to go to add field, and once you click add field, you need to click the area, and you can just click on double or float and then OK. Now click on the area, right click on the area, go to calculate geometry and yes it, and then here you can enter your unit. So my unit is square miles, so I'm just clicking on square miles and then OK and yes. So we have got our area in square miles, that is 40.400. This is our area and our procedure is completed. So we have got our area. Now you can also convert this into you can just take this into what we call it, Google Earth. You can move it to Google Earth. How? You can click on the from KML. No. You can click on to KML and you can click on layer to KML. Okay, so layer to KML. Click on it. The layer will be the raster watershed. Okay, and then just specify your location wherever you want to save it. So now as I have saved it and I saved it on the name of Google Earth, so let's open that file. Here is it. So let's double click it, and now we'll wait for Google Earth to load it. So let's see how it looks in Google Earth. Here we go. And here is our catchment area and our location and everything on Google Earth, and you can just play with it as you like. Just like you can just move here and look at it in 3D and wherever. So that was all from my side about the catchment area. we found the area in units, and you can again just go to the properties, and you can just, you can just go to the attributes table, and you can just search your area by going to the attribute table. Here it is, and that's all. 40.4 miles, square miles catchment area of our location. Thank you very much.